guys, so I'm gonna try, this is telling me to rotate my device, but I think it's still going. So we are gonna doing this messed up thing. So we are gonna try this out and hopefully it will work nicely. I know you can kind of see the edges of my background, but I'm hoping more will show up. So hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Meg and this is Meg's Makeup Life. I'm so excited to do this review. I have, like, the second I saw this palette, like the very first time I saw it, I was like, huh, yes, that palette was made for me. It was made for me. It is the Norvina palette by Anastasia, Beverly Hills. I am super duper excited about this. If I'm looking in the wrong spot for this video, guys, I apologize. I've never shot in the landscape before, and usually I look up to look at my camera, and doing that makes me look like I'm looking like off in a weird direction. So I'm going to do my best to look down into the camera so I'm actually like looking at you. So this is the Norvina palette. It comes in this pretty little purple unicarton. I'm going to turn down my lighting a tiny little bit and maybe that will make us a little less washed out. It's a little better. All right, so it comes in this purple unicarton, plain white on the inside, and then it has all of the colors listed on the back. All of the ingredients are on here. The eyeshadow palette, trademark is used under license, blah, blah, blah. Go-to eyeshadow palette featuring 14 whimsical shades ranging from bold and bright mattes to soft pastel shimmers. And then it's a little quote from Norvina. It says, I have always wanted to create a palette that embodies my spirit. I'm a dreamer at heart and get lost in my own fantasy world daily. I have It's a whimsical place that leaves you feeling carefree. If I had to explain how these colors made me feel, I would say happy. So that's her little thing. This is what the palette itself looks like. It is the very like traditional palette style from Anastasia Beverly Hills, where it's like a little velvety feeling, and then you open it up and inside it has like this little plastic cover to protect your shades. It's got this nice mirror on there, and then it's got the absolutely gorgeous colors. So all of the shimmers are across the top and then all the mattes are across the bottom. I have had a lot of people ask me already like what I thought of the palette. I really do like this palette. We're going to be doing a look today with it, and then because I just really kind of think it works best, I'm going to do like a whole, we'll finish off the makeup. I have already done my base makeup. I used my, let's see, I'll show you. I got this little like organizer over here, so now everything's not just thrown all over my table. We'll see how long it lasts. But I used my Hourglass foundation in the shade Warm Beige, and then to be a little bit extra, I saw I think it was Kathleen Lights did this, where she combined it with her NARS Natural Radiant Longwear foundation, and it looked really beautiful on her skin, so I wanted to try that combination today. So that is what I have on as a base. I finally did bite the bullet and order my Yves Saint Laurent Touche Éclat, the full size primer. It is my absolute favorite. I went through and ordered like 7 different sample sizes off of Sephora to kind of try out different pore filling primers. That's really like my concern, the major concern that I have for my skin. And I tried like the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I think I'm actually going to do a video where I review all the different primers that I tried and kind of give you a rundown of how I feel about them. But the Yves Saint Laurent is definitely my favorite. It is a blurring primer. It's gorgeous. I do have the little mini sample right here that is just about empty. I absolutely loved it. It's the Touche Éclat Blur Primer. It's amazing. It is very silicone-y though, so if you do not like a silicone primer, you will not like this, but I love it. So let's, without any further ado, let's get on into this little, whatever here, our little demo. I am going to do something that is going to be a little silly, but it works really, really, really well for me. I have hooded eyes, as you can kind of see. When my eyes are open, you really can't see much lid space there at all. And a big, huge trick that has really helped me out to make my eyelids look much more lifted is to take just some simple Scotch tape and I apply it. I kind of like here, I follow the lash line up and just kind of go out. You can do it a little more to the side if you'd like. It's really like preference, but to really get my eyes to look a bit more lifted and not be so heavy, I really, really like this step. It's super cheap. It's very easy. And it works really, really well for me to help my lids look a lot more lifted. and it's a really good trick to use. So if you have hooded eyes, I definitely recommend this. I am definitely going to be doing a review, like a tips and tricks for hooded eyes. There's definitely things that I've been doing lately that help my eyes to look much, much bigger than they usually are, or like physically actually are, and I really like that. So I'm gonna open up some new brushes. I ordered 2 of each of these, and I want to use the clean ones for my little demo. So I'm going to be using, first I want to put on like a base color, which is what I'm just going to put all over my eyes, kind of to seal in that primer, just so it doesn't get super grabby with my color, and helps everything to blend a little bit nicer. So what I'm going to do, I'm not using the Anastasia brush. I did use it when I first got it. It's not my favorite. I know that they're not like super popular. So I'm just going to use the brushes that I really like to use for my eyeshadows, but I'm just going to go in with a very fluffy, kind of dense brush, and I'm going to go in and take base, which is this bottom like bone color here, and we're just going to put that all over the eye. The one thing I will say about, I'm going to get a little closer, you can see me here. The one thing I will say about this own any palettes, I will say reviews on all of the other palettes, and I know that Subculture was like a huge mess for a lot of people. I will say this palette does have a bit of fallout, like you can see what just happened with the base, like you can see there's some fallout happening on there, and in the pan itself. But so I would definitely recommend you be gentle with this palette. Like you can't just take a brush and like dig into it. If you're a swirler, I would not recommend using that technique. You just really need to just kind of touch and press very gently and very lightly with these colors to get them to show up. And to pick them up on your brush. If you swirl around this palette, it will make a mess. It just will. But I think if you're just very gentle with it, I think you'll be really super happy with the color. So I'm going to go in first with this Clear Love. As you can see, like there's some fallout in that pan. I hope that's showing up there. And all I'm doing is like super lightly, like just tapping like this. That's all I'm doing. And it does kick up a bit of product. So if you are somebody that does not like that fallout, I don't think you're going to super love this palette. It's not a game changer for me, but I really do recommend you be very gentle with this palette. So I'm just going to take this all over. I go up above my crease color. This is a Morphe M537 brush, by the way. It's just more of kind of a flat blender. But I'm just going to take that love and go up and over. You can see where my crease actually is, and I actually go up above that area. This is another really good trick for hooded eyes. Is you want to go, instead of like following the shape of your eye and going up and down, when I get to the outer edge of my eye, I go straight out. See how that's working there? And then that tape is there to kind of catch anything, and keep that line really nice and clean, so there won't be a lot of cleanup at the end. But I really do like this palette. It's got, the colors are absolutely, they're very saturated. They're very, very pretty. Like I said, you have to be gentle with it. And I think that's just because the colors are so soft and creamy that if you dig into this palette, you will dig a hole. And I don't think anybody wants to spend that kind of money on a palette and dig a hole into the product the very first time. So I'm going to go in next with, let's see, what should I use? What colors haven't I used yet? Let's use Eccentric. It's this kind of like orangey brown shade here. We're going to mix that with the pink on the same brush, the M573 brush. And we're just going to go in just a little bit lower, but you can see like it definitely is pigmented. It definitely doesn't mix too much with that pink. Like it blends nicely, but you don't lose both colors when you go in with another color. Do you know what I mean? Like I hate that in a palette when you go to add another color, and then instead of like you being able to see 2 colors, it just kind of turns into one and it gets kind of gross. And makes this color that you didn't really intend. So I do like that a lot. I think it's a really nice palette. Like I said, I think when I first, like I watched Jeffree Star put this on and didn't comment much on it. I'm like way turned too far because of the way the camera is. Sorry guys. I didn't see him very like comment too much on it or make a statement really, which kind of concerned me a little bit because I definitely could see it in the video. But it's not anything alarming. I don't think it's anything that would like cause me to not want to buy this palette. I just think, like I said, you just have to be very gentle with it. So I'm going to keep this a little bit more simple. We're going to go in with Dazzling next, which is this gold shade here, right up underneath my finger there. These swatch so pretty. The shimmers are really very, very shimmery. I've tried Celestial, Wild Child, and Dreamer. And I will say, I honestly think they perform just as well wet as they do dry. I don't think like you have to use a Matte Fix Plus or anything out of this palette. I think it works just as nicely wet as it does dry. So I don't think you need that stuff unless that's just something that you prefer. Shine in that, like it's absolutely gorgeous. The shimmers are just super duper pretty. And I was reading an article that the palette is actually designed specifically to make it a little bit easier to figure out what colors to use together to create a look. In all honesty, I think you could use just about any of these colors in combination, and I don't think you could really screw it up. They're like, it's a nice color story. All the colors work really well together, but from how Norvina explained it, she wanted to set it up so that like you could move in quadrants. So like you could use these 4 colors here to create a look. You could use these 4 colors here to create a look, these 4 colors here to create a look. And that was sort of the idea, is to just make it very easy. And like the colors, the shimmers that are on top, they work really well with the mattes that are underneath them. So you could stick with that if you wanted. The thing I really like about this palette too is like you could be very, I haven't really gotten too much into the darker shades, but you can do a very dark look with this, or you can keep it very super light. Like there's a lot of options, I feel like, in this palette where like you can use this one palette and get an endless amount of looks, which is why I really liked it. And honestly, it's one of the things that made it hard for me to figure out what look to do first, just because there's so many that you can pull off with this palette. So I really do like that. So then we're gonna go in with my R39 brush. It's just more of a rounded blender, okay? And we're gonna go in, I think, let's do a little bit of Drama, just because I haven't played. I'm just pressing into the palette like this, like I'm not doing anything crazy, okay? And we're gonna take that and just stay nice and low in the crease. Just see what happens here. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, wow, that's a pretty shade. Like if you put it on super heavy, it looks almost black. But if you shear it out, it's like you can definitely see the purples and the browns playing into that. Oh, wow, that's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. I hope that's showing up on camera. I really like this color. I was kind of scared to use it. All right, so then again, and I'm not going up as high with this color. I'm staying much more down in my crease area, but we're just gonna stick it. I'm trying to find a good spot for my mirror, sorry guys, so that it shows up on the camera. But like sheared out over that Dazzling, like they just play so beautifully together. Oh my God, that is gorgeous. I don't normally use like a shimmer shade on my outside edge like that. Like I definitely like to deepen up the outside crease. But that's just super, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I hope that's showing up. Like I know I don't have the best camera equipment, but that is just, it's simply gorgeous. And then I'm gonna take like just a little, let's see if I can find my pencil brush here. Pencil brush, where are you? Here it is, right in front of my face. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in with my unique pencil brush here. It's actually called a crease brush, but like it looks like a pencil brush to me. And I'm gonna go into Passion, which is this brown, purpley, reddish, I don't know. It's got a bunch there, like very, very, like just a tiny bit, just because I don't love having a shimmer as my outer corner color. I just want to like add a little something to that, but I don't want to lose that purple. That is stunning. That purple is gorgeous. And that's what I mean. Like you can take this palette, and you could create like a very, very dramatic, dark, beautiful, like just gorgeous, smoky shade look with it, or you can keep it really, really very light. All right, so that is all we're gonna do. Watch how easy this is, guys. Look at this. I've got this nice clean line here. All you do is just peel the tape off. Super simple. See that? And then like there's eyeshadow on here. It does pull off a little bit of my base makeup, but I go in with concealer after I've done my eyeshadow, so that doesn't really concern me. If you're somebody that does your eye, want to use that, or if you're going to want to go back in with a brush or your beauty sponge and kind of just touch it up a little bit. But I do want to try out this new concealer I found in the store. It is not in the drugstores around me, so I haven't been able to find it. I did find it in Walmart though. So this is the Flower Beauty, which is by, oh my God, now I can see her face, and Drew Barrymore. She is the founder of this company, but I've heard really good things about this. It's the Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer, Weightless Feel, Crease Proof, Soft Angle Tip for precise application. I've heard that this is being compared to the NARS Creamy Radiant, which I don't have currently. I do want to get, but I wanted to try it. I have it in the color light medium. So I figured this would be a good time. This is just going to be a first impression, not really a review of this product. I did also pick up a loose powder by her that I'm going to use today, but it's not going to be a review because this is the first time I'm using it, but I do really want to try it out. So it's got an applicator that looks something like this. It's a little bit smaller of a doe foot. And here's another thing I wanted to talk about that I've gotten, that I tried out and I really do like. I had been using a much bigger triangle on my cheek here, but one of my big main areas of concern is this like area right by my nose is where my pores are the largest. So I find if I go really far down and heavy with my concealer in that triangle shape, that it just sort of accentuates everything. So we are going to, and so you can see I have a little fallout on my cheek here. But that's why I like to do my concealer after my eye looks, because that allows me to kind of clean up anything that might have fallen out or happened and just really keep that area nice and bright. So what I've been doing lately is kind of keeping that area that I conceal much closer to my eye line here, and then blending it down as I need to brighten. But I have found that it helps with the appearance of my pores, not to go quite so far down in that like full on Instagram sort of fashion. So I'm going to take my Morphe blender here. This is definitely a lightweight consistency. It does not feel thick and heavy at all. Like, I'm a little concerned at how the coverage will be just because it is so lightweight feeling. Like, I don't want to say watery, but it definitely covers. It definitely does. I like that a lot, actually. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is the first time I'm using it, so I don't want to speak too much on it. I definitely want to see how it wears throughout the day and all of that jazz, but first impression wise, I like it. We'll see how it does with like my under eye wrinkles and all that kind of stuff. But it definitely lives up to its claims of being very lightweight. And then something that I do, because I have this, I don't know if you can see it on camera, and it's actually covered up right now by this concealer. Sometimes I even will use like, I have the Conceal and Define. Where is that one? Where's that bad boy? Oh, where did I put it? The MAC Pro Longwear, I have that, and it doesn't cover it up. The Urban Decay Naked Skin doesn't cover it up. Where did my Conceal and Define one go, though? I don't know. I'll have to find it. But I have the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. The first layer, I have this like dark spot that's like right here on my face. It's the size of my fingertip, and it looks like a bruise almost. So I'm really self-conscious about it. But I have been experimenting with a new skincare line. It's a bit expensive. I don't even want to say what it is just yet because I'm going to be doing a video on it. But you guys, I've been using it for about a week and my dark spot is already like so much lighter. But what I've been doing lately is not a full second coat, but I just kind of go in right by my nose and just give it another go. It has nothing to do with like me not feeling like there's not enough coverage. It's just what I find with concealers, and we'll have to see how this one does throughout the day. But what I find with concealers is I can cover that dark spot, but then as the day goes on and it starts to like wear off a bit, that's where it starts to like poke back through again. So adding this second layer is just kind of like an insurance policy for me, but it isn't anything to do with like the feelings I have on the concealer. Another concealer that I really want to try is the NARS, not the Creamy Radiant, I already said that one, but I want to try the, it's Creamy Matte, or it's in a pot form, but I really want to try that one as well. I'm really curious about those ones. I have in the past really wanted to get the Tarte Shape Tape, but I have heard from like an overwhelming number of people and channels and all of that in review dries, and I have dry issues with dryness under my eyes as it is, so I don't really want, I'm like nervous. What did I just put on my face? I'm nervous about trying that because I don't want, I don't know, I'm nervous that it'll just really dry me out even worse. Like my skin, my whole life, I've been acne prone, and that really hasn't changed. However, I was very, very, very greasy the majority of my life. And I like in the last year or so have noticed like not so much the greasiness anymore, but like I definitely have like, there is still a little bit of grease in my T-zone, but like really I'm getting much drier, like especially by, and I feel like this year my skin has really changed it up on me. So I'm trying to like catch up and figure out what works really well for that. There's a few tweaks I want to make to my skincare routine. I want to see how it goes for a few more weeks. And then once I do, if it continues on in the path that it is, I'm definitely going to be doing a video on it because I feel like my skin looks amazing. And while like skincare is a funny thing for me where I might not necessarily like looking in the mirror, I can't super tell the difference. But then once I put makeup on, like the way my makeup lays on top or like sinks into my skin and the finish that I get from it and all of that is so different now. Like everything just looks beautiful on my face. And for a while I thought like, wow, this foundation's incredible. But I went back and tried some of the foundations that I've tried in the past that I wasn't super impressed with. And it looked so much better because I'm taking, so pull out that Flower Beauty powder that I grabbed from the store yesterday. This is the Miracle Glow Satin Finishing Powder. So they do have a matte finish powder also, but I thought that I really liked matte, and I think I did more when my skin was a bit more greasy because it kind of balanced everything out. But now that I'm getting older and my skin is getting drier, I'm not such a huge fan of the really super matte stuff anymore because it just makes me look so dry. So this is what the product looks like. See if you can see that flower there. This is the Miracle Glow Satin Finishing Powder. Minimizes the appearance of imperfections with an ambient glow. It's a miracle worker. Our Miracle Glow Satin Finishing Powder sets your makeup with a veil of subtle radiance. Our satin formula absorbs oil with a soft focus effect. Micro pearl pigments diffuse light for an ambient glow, providing the ultimate touch to your makeup. So that is what I got. I don't think there's a color on it. It says MG1, but I think this is just like a translucent. I don't even know how to open this. Let's see. I'm afraid I'm gonna break it. So I'm just, oh, okay. So the whole thing comes up like that. It has a really pretty puff in it. So this is just sort of like the lid. And then it has a little powder puff in here. So I think we'll use this because I know that they say that these are really good. And then it is sealed in here with a sticker. So we'll pull that sticker out. hopefully this color will work because it was literally the only color that they had. All right, so we're going to tap some of this out. I don't know how to do this. Tap some of this out into the lid, I guess. It does create like a bowl, which is kind of nice to have your product in. And we're gonna pick some of it up on this little poofy thing. And we're just gonna like, so this is what I see everybody do. So then they just sort of, I'm like nervous, press the powder in, like roll it around. My favorite powder, just to give you like a frame of reference right now, is the Laura Mercier powder is one of my favorites. I really actually am loving the Color Pop one right now too. I think it's really, really good for the price of it. But I just am very curious about this brand. I've seen it a lot starting to kind of pop up on Facebook, and I wanted to see kind of what I thought of it. So we're trying it out. And again, this is a first impressions. I don't know. I don't know what I think. Like, I definitely feel like it mattified things a bit. Let's get some more out in the lid here. I definitely feel like it mattified things underneath my eye, but I don't really see like much of a difference when it comes to my pores. And again, when you have larger pores, you really want to take advantage and stamp that product into your face. You don't want to like swirl it around, because what happens is you create this look of like craters on your face because your pores are down further. So like the makeup kind of skids across the top, but it doesn't get down into the pore. So if you really press your product more into your face, you get it like down into the pore, and then it like fills it in more and keeps it from looking quite so large. It's a really, really good trick for that. I'm not loving this though, I gotta say. The concealer is looking a little dry under my, like, do you see this? Like, it's looking a bit dry under my under eye. Like, it's supposed to be like illuminizing and everything, but I'm not really feeling that way. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna give it a chance, more of a chance, instead of just like, you know, bouncing off at the mouth. And I do set my makeup with a setting spray, so maybe once we hit it with the Scandinavia, it'll kind of help to melt it in a little bit. And I know that this is taking me a little bit longer, but I really do like to just sort of take my time and really stamp that product in so that I'm not so much swirling it. I'm not seeing, I know it says like glow. I mean, I don't know. I guess, oh, I guess I do see some of glow. It's more of like, maybe once, like I said, because it's powder, I do see a luminosity to it though. So I do see that. I hope that's showing up on camera. I guess it does actually look really good on my pores too. Like the ones on my forehead and between my eyebrows are actually almost non-existent. I do like that. All right, so far so good. I'm liking it. I will definitely in a future video do more of a like, what's what I'm looking for. Like I'll update you guys on how I'm feeling about it. But I do like this like component. I think it's really nice. It's solid. Like I don't feel like it's gonna make a huge mess. And like I said, you get that kind of a bowl. Oop, I didn't put my powder puff back in there. I actually don't want to store it in there. So I'm not gonna store it inside the container. Maybe I will. I don't know. It's not the easiest to pull apart, and like I'm scared to pull it apart because I don't want to make a huge mess. But we'll leave the powder puff in there for now. I don't know how hygienic that is, but just for lack of having a better idea of where to put it. So now that we have our under eye and everything set, I'm going to go back in. And we are going to do some eye now. Another like really good trick that I have learned as far as helping to make my eyes look larger. Like my eyes are smaller and they're hooded. So I kind of have like the worst of both worlds. But I find that adding color to my under eye really does like make it look larger because I have a larger area with color on it. Like there's more surface area being covered with color. I don't know if that makes sense, if I'm like explaining it super great, but the more area is covered with color, it gives the illusion that your eyes are actually larger than they are. So I kind of take advantage of anything I can that is going to give me that little bit of trick. So I'm just taking the Love color here that we used as our transition shade on the top with a nice fluffy brush. I'm just using the R39 brush and really getting underneath my eyes here, saturating that with some nice pink soft color. And then I'm going to go in with this brush. This brush I love for the under eye area, and I actually also really like it for the inner corner. This is the M321 brush. It's got just this little tiny, it's super duper soft. I was loving the unique crease, but it's a bit stiffer, and I find that it gets, because I'm so close to my lash line, if I poke myself in the eye with it, like my eyes water for. So I haven't been using that one as much. I've been really, really liking this. So I'm going to go in next with the Volatile color, which is the brown that's right next to the pink. It's a bit more of a cool tone brown. And we're just going to mix that under the eye. I'm not going to go all the way over with this color like I did with the pink, because I don't want to close down the look of my eye, but it just kind of accentuates that outer corner there. So we're going to do that on this side too. I have really been getting into blending underneath my eye as well as above. Before I would just kind of slap a color underneath my eye and be done with it, but I'm really, really liking having like some blending and everything the same that I did on the top, doing that again on the bottom. And I think it just looks wicked pretty. So we are going to stick with that. That's all. Oh, I'm actually going to take that brush. I use this, what is it called? I lost the lid, but it's like a clean sheet, I don't know, something. But it just kind of takes the color off of your eyeshadow brush in between colors. So you can go from dark to light and not have any transfer from the darker color. I'm going to go in with Dreamer. It's like the perfect brow, like under the brow highlight. Sorry guys, I'm like not used to where this camera is, like under the brow highlight here. And then I'm also going to take that and put that in my inner corner as well to just really give it a pop. But again, you have to be super gentle in your palette. Like I just went and like did like that kind of a motion, and I don't know if you can see here, but like I pushed a hole in it. So you have to be very gentle with this palette. I do like it. You just have to be like cognizant of the fact, like, just be easy, be gentle. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of a pop in that inner corner. Just lighten that up a bit. I'm really liking this look today. It's gorgeous, like so stinking pretty. Okay, so that's all we're going to do with the eyes. That's the end of the Anastasia part of everything. I love it. I think it is an absolutely gorgeous palette. I don't think you can really go wrong with it. The colors are easy to like match up and all of that kind of stuff. I'm going to go in with a brown for my waterline. Now here's going to be a little bit of a trick, because what I've been noticing with my, I really did like the Conceal and Define Makeup Revolution concealer. But what I find is that when I go to do this step with my waterline, I use a makeup sponge so that I'm not like leaving fingerprints in my makeup. However, when I use the makeup sponge even, I find that the concealer comes off. Like I'll have it. So I don't know. It's so hard to do makeup in a phone. It's like, it's not, I need to get like a mirror that really stands on my table so that I can use it better. I had this mirror that came with a stand, but my kids broke it. Hashtag real life. But my kids broke it, so Now I just kind of is easy. But it did not pull off my concealer, so that's good. Like, that was something I was like, what in the hell just happened? Like, I was so frustrated with the Makeup Revolution concealer because I was like, why is it we're gonna try not using an eyeliner on the top and just see. Oh my god, I hope this is showing up. Like, the color is definitely not showing up as much as it is in real life. Gorgeous. I cannot wait to post a picture. So definitely, if you're not following me on Instagram, it's Meg's Makeup Life. You can find me there, or Megan Mullen is my name on Facebook. Find me there. I always post my looks for the day. So I'm going to go, let's do a little bit of bronzing, shall we? I'm going to use my Morphe 8H highlight and sculpt palette. So it's got these like cooler tones, some warmer tones, and then 4 highlight shades. This palette, it doesn't come off patchy on me, and I like that I can kind of mix the shades a little bit to get really like the perfect shade that I'm going for. I can keep it a little bit lighter for when I'm a little bit you know, less tan, or I can really darken it up for when I have more of a tan. I will say, if you are fair skinned, I would definitely get the 8L. Yes, the 8L, the Lo-Fi palette. This is the Hi-Fi palette, which I think is better for darker skin tones or like summertime. But if you are very fair skinned, I would definitely get the Lo-Fi palette. It has more cool tones and more lighter shades in it. So I think it would work better for the lighter skin tones. I have both of them just because I was so excited when they came out, and I didn't really have like a sculpting palette. The only one I had was my unique one, and it didn't really come with different shades. It just had like, well, I'll show it to you. I have it. I had like a cream highlight, and then it's right here. I used a lot of it. So it has like a cream highlight in it, a powder highlight, and then a cream bronzer. I really like it. I like the cream products in it, but like powder products just because they're a little bit easier for me to use. So I'm going to take this Flower powder again, the Flower Beauty powder. Oh shit, I forgot. I forgot that I had the powder puff in there. And I just want to kind of carve out a little bit of my line here on my cheek to just sort of clean that up so we don't go down too far. We'll see how this Flower Beauty powder does with that job. I'm just using my damp beauty blender, or not beauty blender, it's a beauty sponge. Oh my gosh, I'm like all over the place on this table right now. All right, so I'm just taking my damp sponge and we're just kind of like making a cleaner line so that we don't have any 5 o'clock shadow. We stay nice and light in this area. It does apply really smoothly and really well. I actually kind of like the application with the sponge better than that little puff that comes with it. I think it goes on a little bit more evenly, but I wanted to try out the puff because I don't know who Wayne Goss is. Like, you need to go check him out. He's absolutely amazing. He has like 4 million subscribers, something like crazy up there. But like, he's the most unassuming, like humble guy. He's been a makeup artist for like 20 years or so. And he does these very, very short, but very informative videos. Like, I started watching him because there was a video that caught my eye that was like, stop doing your makeup like the people on Instagram. It looks, and it was like, the whole thing was like, it looks like garbage in real life. Like, it might look nice on pictures, but like, it's terrible in real life. And he had these videos up about minimizing your pores. So I watched them, and he loves that, like, what's the word I'm looking for? He really likes those little puffs, but I'm just not a huge fan, I guess. I don't know. I might try it again, but I just think it applies much more evenly with the sponge a little bit better. And contour my nose just a tiny bit, if I can find the right brush here. Where did that brush go? Oh, little brush. There it is. All right, so I'm going to go in and contour my nose just a little bit. I take the coolest, lightest shade in the palette, which is Donut, and I just give a little definition. I don't do anything crazy. It's not a super snatch nose. But I just like to give a little bit of definition because I do take pictures for Instagram stuff. I like to be able to like have my nose stand out a little bit. I don't do it to like reshape it or make it thinner or any of those things. But I just like to have the definition there so like you can really see it in pictures rather just sort of, sorry, I'm blocking the camera, rather than it just sort of being like a blank canvas and you can't really see anything. And then I just take my finger and sort of blend it out just a little bit, just to help the nose kind of like pop up and stand up off the face a little bit. All right, so then I'm gonna go in, let's do brows because I haven't done them yet. I'm gonna Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I have it in the color soft brown. I like this product. I feel like I am burning through it though, super duper quick. My other, like my favorite brow product, I think to date is the Unique Brow Palette. My favorite. I really like it. It's super easy to use. It's super pigmented. It's awesome. I love it. It stays in place. It doesn't like smear off your face. I really need to get my eyebrows done. And I really do like it. It's just a little bit faster for me than using a pencil. I'm not quite as good with the pencil as I am with that brow palette, but it's probably just because I've been using that brow palette for a lot longer. But I feel like the brow palette lasts me like 6 to 8 months, whereas these Brow Wizzes, I feel like I'm about to like, I've only had it for like a month or so, and I already feel like it's almost empty because I have so much I fill in. Like I don't have a full brow and I don't have a great shape. So I kind of have to go in and create all of that for myself. And I feel like because of that, I go through these really super duper fast. And as I've said before on this channel, if you are here and you want to learn how to do brows, you are at the wrong place because I am still kind of learning, especially with this pencil. The pencil is just so like, I know some people find it like much easier, but I don't. I just feel like it's so much harder to work with. Maybe it's me, maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. But personally, I prefer that brow palette. I will use it in my next video so you can really see it. I know some people are like really, I don't want to say like anti-Unique, but like I know people are very like skeptical of those products. So I use them more on like my Facebook and stuff because full disclaimer, I do sell it. But I'm trying to like use other products on this channel just so that it's a little bit more relatable. So like, you know, I know a lot of people like products on here. I think people would maybe, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions or preconceptions about Unique products. I think that they're fabulous. But like I said, I talk about them a lot more on my Facebook page. And I'm kind of using this to be more of like a universal. Unique is how I kind of got into the makeup thing. And like, I'm forever grateful that I did it. But one of the things that I kind of like realized after starting with them was like, there's so much out there that I didn't want to just kind of pigeonhole myself so much and just be like, oh, I only use Unique, and I do use Unique products a lot, like don't get me wrong, I think that they're great, but like more so just because like it gets boring to use all the same stuff all the time, like every single day in and day out. And I just kind of wanted to get out there and play a little bit more, which was another reason why I wanted to start this channel, just because like I like to play around and try different things. Like I finally saw a little tiny section of my Walmart had Flower Beauty in it last night, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna finally try this. Like I've been seeing it all over YouTube and all over Facebook, and I haven't gotten to try it yet, so I want to try it. I am going to use my Epic mascara. I know that a mascara that's super popular in the beauty guru world is the Lash Paradise. I do have that mascara. I don't love it. It's okay, but I really do like my Epic mascara for a couple reasons. One, it's water resistant. It's not waterproof, but I actually like that better because it's so much easier to get off. Like I can walk around, like I was out in the rain the other day. My mascara didn't run. It didn't go anywhere on me. And it stayed, like, it didn't leave marks on my face or anything like that. But when I want to take it off, I just feel like it's much easier to get off. Whereas the Lash Paradise, like, it's a much more watery consistency. So like when I went to put it on, it like flicked up and I had all these little like black spots all over my face, from where the product just kind of, like when I do like this kind of thing and I close my eyes, it just kind of flew everywhere. And then like I used my setting spray a few minutes later, like it wasn't even immediately after, it was legitimately a few minutes later, and the mascara was transferring onto my lower eye, like my lower eye area. So I don't know. I'm gonna try it again, but like I think this might be my tooth. It's like a little old. Oh, there's that concealer that I was looking for. This one, the Makeup Revolution one. That's the one that I've been having issues with rubbing off of my face. Like when I go to, this is the better. That was my old Epic. Oops. So make sure that you get it all over your face after you spent a really long time, like trying to get that base just absolutely perfect. Make sure that the first swipe that you make with your mascara, you just like stamp some right on the skin, because that's just like, that's the best ever. But yeah, I really do like, this mascara has been like covered in, you know, what's what I'm looking for, in like all the big beauty magazines like Elle and Women's Day and I don't know, fashion ones that I can't seem to think of right now, and like it got rave reviews. It's a one-step mascara, so it's not like their fiber lash mascara. It does volume length and it does curl your lashes also in one step, and I really do like it. It's like I've tried other mascaras from the drugstore that have been recommended that everyone raves about, and this is kind of the standard that I hold it up against, and I haven't found one that I like more than my Epic mascara. I really think it's pretty fabulous. All right, so we're gonna let that stuff that I hit my face with dry for a second, and then we'll go and get that off in uno momento. But I'm kind of liking not having an eyeliner on the top eye and just letting like the makeup really have its moment. So let's use some blush while we're here. What do I want to use? Let's use the Benefit Californication or California. This is a trial sample size. It comes with a little brush that I do not use. And then it has a little plastic thing in there to keep the product safe. But it looks like this. It's a very peachy, like, you can't really see it, but it's like there's definitely a shimmer in there. So I really kind of like it. It does have a little mirror in the top that is like good for absolutely nothing. You can't see anything in it and it drives me bananas. So I'm just going to apply this to the apples of my cheeks, just above where I have that contour. I like to focus more on my hairline and then just ever so softly bring it up to the apples of my cheeks. I don't like a lot of makeup apples of my cheeks. One, because that's where I have issues with my pores. But two, I feel like when you focus more towards your hairline and then just it kind of draws the attention back that way. So it gives you more of a lifted appearance, which again, I'm 35, I'm getting a little bit older, and I'm starting to notice and pay attention to like, I want my makeup, especially like my eyes and my face, to be like lifting me up and kind of sucking me up this way, rather than like closing it in by really focusing that makeup on the front of my face. So we're going to brush this bake off here. See how we did. Oh, it did. It cleaned it up nicely. It's wicked pretty. I do like this powder. Like at first, when I was first putting it on and looking in the mirror, I was like, I don't know. I didn't really think it was that great. But the more that it's sitting on my skin, kind of the more I'm liking it. So I'm just gonna veil it a little bit, because sometimes I get a little carried away with the blush. And one thing that is just take a little bit of powder. Like I didn't dip this into any powder, but just from what it had on my brush, from wiping off that bake, you can just kind of go over your blush a little bit and it'll tone it down a little if you've gotten a little excessive with it, which is something I do often. So I'm going to take this highlight brush from Morphe. It is my favorite one. It is the R36 brush. And we are going to go back into that highlight palette. I think I'm going to use Venus, which is this bottom one here. It's such a pretty highlight. We're going to apply this to the tops of our cheeks here. Look how pretty that is, though. It's just like right up. So we got that glow happening. It's just a pretty gold color. Like when I first started playing around with highlights, I was noticing I don't like when you turn your head straight on and all you see is like this gray gradient happening. And I was like, a lot of highlights were doing that to me and I couldn't figure out, so I didn't really like them and I was like, I don't like this at all. And then I kind of figured out like I definitely need one with more of a gold undertone to it instead of silver. That silver just leaves that white cast, so it looks really pretty when you turn your head. You got that like shocking line, but when you look straight on, then it just looks gray, and I hate that. So I definitely really like having that gold to it. So I just went down my nose a little bit. I didn't add any more highlight onto it, just what I had on my brush. I hit that Cupid's bow and the chin, and I did get a new lipstick last night, but I don't know where my brush is. Hold on one second, guys. And I do want to try it out because it looks so stinking pretty. So I just wanted to grab it. And this one is L'Oreal. It's called Glossy Fawn. It's Color Riche Shine 900 is the name of it there. And it comes in this like clear packaging. It really looks really pretty, but it's more of a shine. I've been wearing a lot of mattes for a while now and I'm getting kind of bored of it. So I wanted to find something with more of a shine to it. And that's what this promised. So I do like it. I do like this formula. It's definitely very soft on the lips and like it feels like nourishing, where like that's one of the things that I was not loving about the mattes is like some of them can be so damn drying. Like you put them on and your lips, like there's this one, I think it's the Milani one that I use that like I can't do it. I can't do it. It's this one right here. It's the Amore matte ones. I have it in the color Precious. It's like such a color on me. Like it's this pretty like pinky nude color, but it's so drying that like it literally chaps my lips and I hate it. So I can't wear it. I keep it around because I keep wanting to like try it and maybe like try some gloss underneath or on top of it or something, but I don't know. So that is the look, you guys. I'm actually digging this one. I think it's super pretty. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this a palette that you would splurge on? I definitely recommend it. If you are somebody that likes purples and pinks, this is a gorgeous palette. It's super, like I said, you do just have to be very gentle with it. That is my only like critique of the palette. It's pigmented. The shine is like unreal. This is not a glitter or a shimmer that you have to wet your brush to really get that shimmer payoff. It's just really nice and wet on the lids. But yeah, that's my look for today, guys. If you have any questions, if there's anything specific that you would like to see me test out on this channel, please let me know down below. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a video, which is going to be a couple times a week. I don't have a specific set schedule just yet, but hopefully we will get there. But let me know what you guys think. Is this something that you would spend your money on? Is this not something you would spend your money on? Do you know of any good dupes? I'm always up for a dupe. But yeah, let me know. If there's anything you want to see tested out, definitely leave it in a comment. I am more than happy to run out and do that. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you later. Stay fierce, my friends. Bye, guys.